You might have noticed that we at River of Words talk a lot about watersheds, getting to know them, observing them, and conserving them. But what exactly is a watershed? A watershed is land that drains into the same body of water. Not only are all the landscape features like hills, bridges, mountains, and plains part of a watershed, but every living thing in a watershed is an important part of it too. Well, now that we know what a watershed is, why are they so important? No matter where you are in the world, the water in the area, whether it's a creek, a river, or rain, has to drain somewhere. This means that whether you live in the middle of a city or way out in a rural town, you're also part of a watershed. And watersheds connect to each other. This means they all depend on each other to maintain the health of the overall ecosystem. Even a small problem in one watershed may drastically affect how other watersheds downstream function. Okay, so what do we do to protect watersheds? Good question. First and foremost, it's important to get to know the environment you live in so you can help preserve it. Today we're going to be getting to know the watershed your school is in. Because River of Words is located in St. Mary's College of California, which is right here. That's the watershed we're going to be looking at, but you can follow these steps to learn more about your own watershed. For the activity, you will need a topographic map of your local area. For example, if we at River of Words were going to do this activity, we would print out a section of Google Maps, which is exactly what we've done, with St. Mary's location marked on it. I'm going to zoom out so you can see a little better. Topographic maps show features like hills and valleys and so on, which can be extremely helpful for this activity. You can find these online via Google Maps, as I've said, or at your local library. So first, we're going to trace the high points that separate our nearest creek or river from the next. I'm going to do this in purple, but you can use any color you like as long as you remember what it means. This will take a while, so I'm going to speed this up for you guys. So step 2, look at how the land in your area is being used. You'll notice that Google Maps uses green to indicate all sorts of land that is not being used for commercial, residential, or industrial purposes. For example, parks, forests, and nature preserves are all indicated in green. So what does it mean if an area on Google's Maps is mostly or completely gray? So here we see some green areas. That's the Diablo Foothills National Park. This over here is Mount Diablo. And this is where a whole lot of gray is. So this is up in Concord and Pleasant Hill. So here's where St. Mary's is at. Lots of hills and valleys, but we're not noticing a whole lot of green until we get over here to Las Trampas Regional Wilderness, and so on and so forth. So look at your own area and think about what that means for you, where the gray parts are, where the green parts are. Step 3. Remember how we mentioned rain earlier? Now list as many places as you can think of as to where rain goes in your watershed. For example, in St. Mary's, the rain goes into storm drains, which drain into creeks, and those creeks drain into rivers that go out into the ocean. If you don't know what rivers might be in your area, now is a great time to check out the topographic map or seek out a regular map if you prefer. Step 4. Think about the rain that falls onto the roof of your school building. Where does that rain go? Can any of it get to a river or a stream? If so, how? If you can, pause this video, go outside, and look around your school building. You may notice land features that you've never noticed before. Step 5. Think about the ecosystem. Are you ever anywhere that isn't in a watershed? The answer, of course, is no. Anywhere you encounter water, whether through the rain, a river, or an underground wellspring, you're in a watershed. Step 6. What's going on with your watershed right now? Are there any recent articles about it online or in the newspaper? Do you have any issues with pollution or with watershed mismanagement? Congratulations! You're beginning to get to know your own watershed. For more activities based around watershed awareness, environmental conservation, and the poetry and art of place, Stay tuned to this space or check out our Watershed Explorer curriculum.